Hi, Robert. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Awesome. I just wanted to interview you today, ask you a couple questions about yourself and about why you're interested in social work and all that good stuff. So, first of all, I just want to know, what do you do day to day? Like, what is your daily routine?
Well, let me see. I only work from Monday to Friday basically. So from Monday to Friday, it's pretty. I don't want to not necessarily it's hectic, but it's kind of like I have a set schedule.
Consistent.
Yeah. So for example, I get up at 3 in the morning to go to work.
Hmm.
I usually finish about noon 12:30. Um, it depends. Like Mondays and Wednesdays, I just go home, rest for a little bit, then I come to school. But like for example, on Tuesdays and like Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, I go to the gym as well as the weekends. So yeah. Besides that, let me see. I pick up my son on those days I don't go to school, so I get to spend some time with him. So that's pretty cool.
You have a little boy. What age is he?
Yeah, his name's Michael. He's actually 4 years old.
Oh, my
Yeah,
sister is 6. So
6. Oh
yeah,
man.
I have basically grown up with her, so that is my way of, having a kid that I can give back.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's so awesome. Are you really close with your son?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. He's only 4, but I'm saying, yeah, he's learning a lot. He's actually pretty active talking around. He's talking a lot. So just the other night, he counted to like 15, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Do you feel some sort of attachment with social work when it comes to kids because you have a son?
You know what? I feel like I do just because I'm not saying my son's like the best kid, but like I have the patience to like actually control him and stuff like that. And I feel like it transitioned to like, because I'm trying to pursue obviously social work, but trying to like working with children. So I mean, like, I feel like it's good.
You have the patience to teach him and to grow with him.
And that's what I can teach other kids as well. So I feel like
yeah,
I'm pretty good.
A lot of people say that it's hard to control your own kids because there's that love there, but other kids listen to you a little bit better. But I definitely have to agree. It's really nice that you have that firsthand experience and that going into a field like social work, you'll have, how would I treat my son? How would I want, as a parent, what would I think in the situation? And also maybe what the kid wants because you have a son and he does express to you, hopefully, the way he feels and the way that he wants to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really great. Do you have any previous experience that you think helps you with social work?
Well, I volunteered for like 6 months at this foster center. I feel like I gained some experience there for sure.
What was the organization?
Arizona for Children.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Well, I actually worked there too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did mine for one of my classes. I'm sure you did as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, tell me why you even wanted to do social work.
Why? All right. Well, this is how all started. It started back in I was in the army actually, and I was about to get out, and I was pretty lost because I was like, man, I don't know what to do. So either I could try to get into like law enforcement or stuff like that, which I'm not a big fan of. So that kind of like so I started just writing things down that I like in the paper every night until like the last 6 months I almost got out, and it was pretty hard for me because most of the things that I liked was like helping people and stuff like that, or like just trying to guide people when they struggle with life. And that's when I decided, why not social work? And then back to that. So I was like, well, you know what? Why not be a parole officer? So you're helping an ex-con get better in life. So why not like pursue that? So I actually did. I started working for the state of Arizona, the Department of Corrections for like 2 years, but I resigned because I kind of like
Just done with it.
yeah, I decided to pursue like
Time to move on.
Like like children and stuff like that. Just because I feel like the bigger issue is as they grow up as kids, you know.
Yeah, kids are our future.
Yeah, for sure. No, this is I decided that just because my 2 years working at the prison and all the conversations that I had with the inmates, and they all told me like they did drugs when they were like 8 years old, and it all started at a young age, and and the parents was never there. They're in the foster system, so it was like, oh, why not like start there, and maybe try to make a difference before they get to prison.
That's so awesome that you like made that connection, that like the people in the system, it's not really like the crimes that they committed, but it's really like why are they committing these crimes? Why are they even like wanting to act out in a way? And so you kind of, you know, backtracked and thought about where it all starts, and that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was that actually, and let me see. And at the same time, like the inmate population, it's hectic just because, like, let me see. I want to say about 85% of the inmates returned to like prison within the 2 years of release.
Really?
Yeah, if it's just society, I guess. Well, for sure, just because you know people like to judge people with the crimes they committed, regardless of they've already served their time.
It's definitely a cycle.
And you know they try to say like, oh, they deserve a second chance, but at the same time, they can't get a job, they can't get like housing, or they can't live in certain places because their background. So that kind of like turns them back to like the old neighborhood and stuff like that. So and they end up in prison again. So yeah, that's one reason like I wanted to kind of get away with all that and just start fresh and just pursue children as I try to help them out before they get to that situation.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sure that you could use all that knowledge and all that experience that you have and implement it into your work. And I know that working with kids, just in this field, you'll probably come across more inmates, and they could really, the social work field could really use that. I feel like that's really important. Do you feel like your military experience gave you any like special insights on how the government works, or about how like your place you want to be in the system?
I feel like it taught me that like just working for the government, it's not what you expect. It's not all butterflies and rainbows, you know. So I kind of like lived that for 4 years. So it's a crazy world, you know.
You're gonna be on the other side of it, right?
So when I actually graduate with a master's or whatever, and I try to pursue what I want, and I work for the government or the state, I kind of already know what to expect instead of like walking in and, oh man, I can't wait, you know. So I kind of already know how it feels. So that's my intake on that.
That's awesome. I really feel like somebody with your background and your experience will do really well in social work. Is there anything else that you have interest in, or other than children in social work? Like, do you feel like in 5 years, 10 years, you might change your mind and have something else that interests you?
Like within social work, or are you talking about just in general?
Yeah, or like advocacy or programs you might want to.
You know what? One of my biggest things I want. You know what would be pretty cool? I want to be like a social worker out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I think I fit in pretty well just because I get along with everybody. I'm pretty funny, outgoing.
Yeah.
I could connect with just kids, you know.
Yeah, and like.
I'm not necessarily kids like 5-year-old, but I'm talking about like 17-year-old age, like 17, 16, whatever. Because I lived the rough. I'm not saying I live in a bad neighborhood, stuff like that. So I feel like.
But you've been there.
I've been there. Yeah.
You know the struggle for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And so I feel like they could open up just because I know what they've been through, or what they are going through. So. Yeah, for sure.
You can always use that experience of being around kids and like being around teenagers and knowing how to maneuver them, because you use different coping and different linguistics when you're talking to children and to teenagers and to adults. And like if you have that ability to talk and ease and not have people be defensive with you, then that is like a really good quality to have if you're going to go into working with teenagers in high school. That's really cool. I feel like I don't have the patience to do that. I mean, I thought about it because, you know, in high school, I wish that I had somebody that believed in, you know, what we could do and talking and about communicating with the student. Because at that age, a lot of times they tell you, like, your voice doesn't matter, like, you're not somebody to be speaking out. But schools counselors give you a voice and, like, let you speak.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really glad that you are looking into that because I'm sure there's like a lot of need for that in the social work. So, narrowing it down, this class about interviewing, how do you feel about that? Like, what is your energy about interviewing people?
You know what? I feel like it's going to be pretty challenging for me just because I've never been in a situation to interview people and I don't know necessarily what to ask or what to look for. So I feel like interviewing is a big part of social work just because you gotta not necessarily just interview a person, but also pay attention to like how they act, like it's just in general how they answer questions and stuff like that. Because they could be answering something, but they could be showing something else that would apply.
Non-verbal communication and body language is really, really important.
So
yeah. I completely agree.
So I think that's going to be one of my biggest challenges, but I feel like just class and my classmates and stuff like that, just all this practice will actually going to boost up my confidence just so I could interview people efficiently.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, I get really weird with confrontation. So I feel like social work is one of those fields where you're going to be in a lot of confrontation.
The biggest issue was for me, I hate saying no, you know? Like,
me too.
Like, I'm just I have a soft heart, you know? Like it might not seem like I do, but actually, like I do. I'm the type of guy that cries in a movie that's pretty sad, you know? Like,
yeah.
I just...
Well, good, because you need that in social work.
But at the same time, I feel like it's going to be one of those things that it could affect me in the long run just because I'm not going to be able to make decisions because I might be like biased or something, but you know, so I got to work on that, which... Well,
they say that social work needs passion, and if you have emotion, like that's what drives passion. And I always say that that's what we need in this field. We need more people who are passionate about kids and about the community and about just helping people, and that at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, your place in the world and what you can do to help that, you know. It's really important. I feel the same way that you do about interviewing. I feel like, though, that, you know, you're doing pretty well interviewing and getting to the confidence to ask questions. And do you have any other expectations for the class?
Hopefully I could learn everything I can so I could like use it in the field or as I go on in my academic path.
That you're, you know, it's easy and not sitting down with any person, and no matter who they are, where they are.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be easy and stress-free. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Robert. I'm really glad that we got to talk about social work and passion that you have and all the experience that you have. I feel like you're going to make a great social worker.